Thursday morning here, and we are in Waterton Lakes National Park, and we're off for another long hike, and we're in the middle of this fancy-dancy little parking lot that they have here. The only thing that this parking lot is missing is restrooms, and we didn't know this until we got here and then realized that we went further down the road to use the restrooms that they had down there. So we are doing a trail called Akamina, and there's an Akamina Pass, and there's also an Akamina campground. So when we got here early this morning, seen actually some license plates from Ontario and even Kansas, and people that are obviously, my guess is that they could have departed early this morning, but I mean, we got here at like 7 a.m. so it's most likely not the case. Most likely people that went up and actually tried the trail and stayed there for the night. We really wanted to try out this trail because it's quite the interesting one, just because you go up to the campsite and then you kind of go south to see a lake and the waterfall, and then you climb up the ridge and the Akamina Ridge, and then you can go around, and then there's another lake on the other side, and you come back down from the ridge to check out the other lake, and then you go back down through the pass, and then you come back around to where you started at the campsite, and then you come all the way back out here to the parking lot. So this is basically what the parking lot looks like for the Akamina campground. All there is there's quite a bit of parking here actually. Yeah, so you can easily fit about 40 cars in this little area here. And worst case, there's a bigger parking lot at Cameron Lake, which is only 1 or 2 kilometers. So you could easily park down there if you really wanted to, instead of if this was full. This is also remnants you'll see here throughout all these videos, is that this whole area was a victim of forest fires a few years back. I'm still surprised that all these trees are standing. They're all dead, but nothing's really started to fall down yet. At the 1.5 kilometer mark, you are no longer in Alberta. You are in British Columbia. And they put a nice little sign here, which is kind of funny. Akamina-Kishinena Provincial Park. Welcome to British Columbia. I was joking that in the span of 24 hours, Heather and I have been in Alberta, Montana, and now British Columbia. Obviously, if you come fishing here, you actually your Alberta fishing license is no good here, so you're gonna have to get a British Columbia fishing license. And Heather seems to have discovered something along the way here. What'd you find? So if you want here, if you turn this into an outhouse, you could sit in Alberta and poop in BC. A forest completely decimated like this is wildlife really can't hide from you. So I kind of feel slightly bit safer knowing that bears will be able to probably hear us better and we'll be able to see them better. There you go. So around 2.3 kilometers in, you find a solid post in the middle of the trail. And obviously, if you want to go to the Akamina Creek campground, you keep going that way. It's actually not that far from here at all. It's only like a 1/4 kilometer. And you can get to Wall Lake also by going in that direction for 3 kilometers. And then there's Forum Falls and Forum Lake, which if you go south here, what we want today is the Akamina Ridge circuit route, so that we go around these falls and around this lake, and then we climb up the side of this mountain and we follow the ridge around. So we're gonna try to find that trail today. Don't go that much further down the trail and you find the Akamina-Kishinena Park Ranger Station. There's like a little outhouse here. That outhouse obviously would be here for the rangers, and it doesn't look like there's anything or anybody here at all. There is a sign that says, please respect the privacy of the residents, so there might be somebody who's there and maybe they board up before they leave. And what's kind of nice too is that there's a little pad here that's been leveled out. This would be for a tent, right? Yeah. If you wanted to tent here, I'm sure that this is only for people who use the ranger's station, right? Well, if you keep going past the ranger's house, you'll come across a fork in the road. It's like a T, and you can turn right to come here. You can turn left to go up to the lake. We'll be turning back around here, but you can still see the ranger's house and behind us here. Whew. This is another example of a horsetail waterfall. About half a kilometer up the creek. So above us there is Forum Lake, and this feeds down Forum Falls. Very pretty. It's like a natural water slide. This is all rock, actually. So yeah, you totally could. With a slip and slide, it might be hard on the butt. Yeah, definitely hard on the butt. .7 kilometers up, we reach Forum Lake. And this so far, we've been gone for 2 hours. We've been going a little bit slower because I've been taking a lot of little videos and snippets here of the adventures along the way. Nifty little lake here. Nice sea. Huh. I see bits of fish in the water. This is kind of weird. And I don't know if you can guys see, there's like a chunk of fish right in the water there. I don't know if it's just somebody, a bear that caught a fish and then ate it here, and then that's the remnants. So we came in on this side of the lake, and now the trail goes back into the forest and it keeps going up. And basically this is the ridge. So right in front of me, right there, that's where we're gonna go up and behind. And then from there, the ridge goes up and up and up and up and up and up and up, all the way up to that ridge. And basically we're gonna be able to see this lake all the way down and follow the entirety of this ridge. It's time to put our packs back on and keep on trucking. We took a little bit of a break, had some, something to eat and some water. And now we're good to go for another couple K. The ridge keeps going up a little bit here, quite a bit after this, but to get to the top of this, it's only about 1 kilometer from the lake. But this is definitely the most grueling kilometer out of the whole trip because it's quite steep and it's just like never ending, and it's blown back as a switchback here just so that you don't have to go up like a set of stairs. So it's like one massive switchback that goes 1 kilometer out, and then you can backfield and go back up. That's Forum Lake, you can see down below there. And that ridge above there, that's the ridge that we're going to be climbing and hiking today. It kind of starts right there, and it goes all the way up. And no worries, there's a trail that leads there. And then there's some trees in the way here, but this is the the view of the backside here. Quite pretty. Came to show you guys the view on the other side, which I haven't even seen for myself yet. Wow. This is the ridge on the other side, and we get to see both valleys. This valley here is just like a small bowl, and it's called Wall Lake. Down there at the bottom is Wall Lake, and you can see there's a little bay that sticks out. Then there's kind of an opening in the trees, and that opening there, if you keep following it, that leads all the way back up and around, and that's to the ridge. So we're gonna get to the other side of that, and then you hike along the top of that ridge, what you guys see on your screen. We're gonna hike along the very top of all of that, and that ridge starts basically right here. But you're not actually on the top of the ridge until you have to do another 600-700 meters. And anybody who comes here, it's a great view and it's a great experience, but you are no longer hiking. So it's definitely the 500 to 600 meter scramble. It's kind of well defined, maybe at the last little bit. You don't need poles, you need gloves, hands and knees, and there's probably 2 or 3 spots you even need to like actually pull yourself up over top of ledges. I can see the trail on the other side, and it's a lot less steep because there's dense vegetation and I can kind of see the trail. I'm not too concerned going up a mountain when it's steep like that. It's coming back down that same side that can become even more time consuming and slow than actually going up. The views here are spectacular. We can even see the vehicle that we came in all the way down there. You can see the parking lot. It's kind of amazing the amount of distance we've covered. It looks way more than 6 kilometers, but it's not. But yeah, so we are officially on the top of the ridge, because now I can look around and see the entire section here. Wall Lake, which is at the bottom down there. And then there's this other massive bowl on the other side. And basically, where Heather is over there, we're gonna walk all the way up to the top, and then we just follow this ridge. Right, the ridge, and then up to the top, and you keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. That ridge that you see, and then it's right there, that dense forest vegetation pocket, all the trees that's there, and the trail comes down there, and it comes all the way down, and it comes out. You can see the trail coming out of the forest, and then it comes all the way down to the lake. This is a gigantic, like a mountain pass. This is a mountain ridge. It's like a little meadow. You guys can see behind me here that as far as you can see, right? Just mountains and mountains. And that's the forum Forum Lake is over there, and that's Walled Lake that's in behind here. So from the other side of this ridge here, you get to see Glacier National Park in Montana. There's Boulder Peak, and then Cluster Peak, and I don't know what the name of the other one is, but basically, yeah, that's the view that you got in behind here. So this is where we're having our lunch. So we're having our lunch here, and then we're gonna keep on going. Just under 8 kilometers here, and we've reached the ridge. Kind of has 2 peaks. This one is very visible from afar because it looks just like a pyramid. It really does have like a really pointy peak, and the trail just kind of doesn't go to the top. It's actually behind me here. If you want to go to the peak, take a cool picture, I don't think you're going to see anything more or less, but it's up there. We have a perfect view of Glacier National Park again, which is located in Montana. And there's a gorgeous pair of lakes over there, which I don't have service, so I can't figure out what's the name of the lakes. But I'm going to show you guys the scenic view that we got here on the back. That's the first little peak, and the trail just kind of goes around it. You don't really need to get on top. I think it's more effort than what's required, and you can get awesome views, as you can tell in behind me here, without having to climb up to these peaks. So basically, we came up on the lowest point of that ridge, and then we climbed all the way up to the backside. Then we followed it up and up and up and up and up and up and up, and there where it changes color, we followed this and went all the way around. We looped around this mountain pass, and now we're back around this side of the mountain. Once you reach 9 kilometers, mark, then you're at the top of the ridge, the actual top of the ridge. And from this point on, it's all downhill from here. So the next 10 kilometers back to the truck should be pretty much downhill in theory. They have one of those pink boxes, Lego boxes. Have you ever seen those before?
Well, not Lego ones, but the...
And then, this is the mighty view we have around us here. What's in the box? And what else is in the... Oh, did you put that rock in there?
I didn't put anything in there.
Oh. That's funny. There's a whistle, there's a painted rock, there's some mustard, and I don't know what this is. That's some candy. That's funny. This is the funniest of them all. Yeah. Peace out. Peace. down the ridge all the way to the far end and looped all the way down. And the trail coming down on the other side is considerably easier than what we did going up on the other side. And then you fall into this, all the remnants again of the burnt forest. And it was kind of like a little meadow, a little bit higher up here, but it was quite pretty. Made it to the 14-kilometer mark, grand total of the trail, and now we're back onto relatively flat ground. Yay, flat ground! And now we've found the lake. This is the lake that we've encircled. So technically, we've walked around the entirety of Wall Lake. Just a very difficult way of doing it because we went up the mountains that are behind Wall Lake. We went then went around the entirety of the thing. Gorgeous little area with the turquoise blue water, which is very common in the mountain areas here. I think once you get to this point, you're kind of almost home free. You just have about the 3-kilometer stint to get back to the original portion of the loop. Look at that thing. Isn't that crazy? What shocks me is that all this stuff burnt down 4 years ago, and most of it's still standing. And most of it is just, looks like it just got burnt yesterday. See here? Like I just got carbon all over my hands just by touching it. Like you'd think that all that stuff would have been rotten by now and turned back into the ground, but not really. It's kind of insane. What do you think?
Yes.
Yes.
Next question.
Do you want to go back up the other way?
No.
No? All right, something we discovered here by accident. I didn't notice it on the map, but normally we notice these things. But on the far side here of Wall Lake, there's actually an outhouse right in behind here, which is kind of neat because at this point, if you've come here directly and didn't do the 14.5 loop to come around, this is still like 5.5 kilometers out here. So it's kind of neat that they have an outhouse right at Wall Lake. Akamina Creek Campground. It's just telling everybody that it's $5 a night per person, and you can only have up to 10 people at your site, and you just select the site. You can only tent on tent pads, and then you put your money in here. What else does it say? This is a user-maintained wilderness campground. Camp only in designated locations. Please ensure you leave the campground in better condition than you found it. This includes removing all garbage and food scraps. There's some nice little picnic tables. There's 6 bear lockers. There's a porta potty right at the top there. quite the interesting camp. It's not even that far from the main road, right? So you don't have to trek in here too hard. Pretty easy on the legs to do this trip. But yeah, if you were inexperienced in backcountry camping and you kind of live in this area, it'd be a good place to come and attempt it and try it. Because if something goes wrong or something like that, you're not that far from the road. I think the campground, by my calculations here, is roughly 3 kilometers before we get back to our vehicle. So all we gotta do now is follow these crazy roads back to the truck. Well, I am Eric Tremblay, and these are my adventures. And this is also Heather, who's also doing the adventures. Peace. Supposed to say peace out.